Which Jersey girl was given the Medal of Freedom by Barack Obama, is known by her childhood nickname, which she initially hated but then trademarked, has been a cover girl over 160 times and holds the record for having the most Oscar and Golden Globes nominations ever? She is, of course, none other than the one, the only Mary Louise Streep Gummer, also known as Meryl Streep. It's time for Plastik's top 10 most iconic Meryl Streep performances. Number 10, Mary Fisher in She-Devil.
Listen to her. She's getting senile.
Bullshit, I remember everything. I remember when you were just a teenager. I'm not interested in what you remember, so just shut up!
This hyperbolic female revenge comedy boasts Streep's most over-the-top performance as Mary Fisher, an egotistical romance novelist suffering from major delusions of grandeur. What makes this performance iconic, though, is not how unafraid and unhinged she is, but rather that Streep, despite already being an Oscar favorite at the time, had something to prove and a grudge to settle. Back then, studio heads questioned her versatility as an actor and refused to cast her in comedic roles.
No, it, Bob, I'm an artist!
Watching her chew up every scene, proving them all wrong, makes this performance a Meryl must.
I just want you to know that as far as I'm concerned, you're still on probation. So just be nice.
Number 9, Sophie in Sophie's Choice.
Zwingen Sie mich nicht zu wählen. Ich kann nicht wählen.
Ich schicke Sie beide darüber.
Nicht wählen.
Nehmen Sie beide Kinder weg. Ja, siehst du! Los!
Nehmen Sie meine Kleine.
Los!
Nehmen Sie meine Kleine. Nehmen Sie das Mädchen. Nehmen Sie das Mädchen.
Playing Holocaust survivor Sophie Zawitowski earned Streep her first Oscar for a leading actress, and rightfully so. Boasting a perfectly executed foreign accent, a Streep trademark, her harrowing performance as a woman riddled with tremendous guilt and a horrific past will haunt you well beyond the film's viewing. The titular plot is so torturous, it is still being referenced years later as a token of human tragedy.
Oh my god, it's like Sophie's Choice.
Number 8, Karen Blixen in Out of Africa.
I wonder if you dance with me.
Put him down, man. Come on, now.
At first glance, the movie's plot comes off as a tired Hollywood trope. A woman confined to her ivory tower, in this case a coffee plantation in East Africa, is whisked away by a scruffy yet handsome free spirit. To add insult to injury, Sidney Pollack, the film's director, didn't want to cast Streep for the part as she was deemed not sexy enough. Despite it all, Streep effectively dodges chauvinist cliches throughout the slow-paced historical drama by beautifully portraying Karen Blixen as a fully realized, headstrong and independent matriarch with a foreign accent.
Thank you for this.
And that, if anything, is quintessential Streep.
1 hour.
At number 7, Jane Adler in It's Complicated.
With a married man.
No, you're not.
Oh, yes, I am. I am having an affair with Agnes Adler's husband.
That is genius.
Written and directed by Nancy Meyers and co-starring Alec Baldwin and Steve Martin, It's Complicated is both hilarious and endearing and makes for great repeat viewings.
You look fantastic.
I'm feeling a little fantastic.
Streep is clearly having the time of her life in one of her most effortless performances. No, really, it almost feels like she's playing herself.
What?
This could be due to the fact that the part was written specifically for her, but also because her chemistry with Baldwin is through the roof.
It's with my old wife. My old, ex. I didn't mean old.
Number 6, Julia Child in Julie and Julia.
What is it that you really like to do?
Each.
Do not be mistaken, Streep's performance in Nora Ephron's last film as superstar chef Julia Child is delectable.
Bon appetit.
So much so that ever since, people who impersonate Julia Child are actually impersonating Streep's impersonation of Child. Her scene-chewing ways are once again in full display as she sizzles her way through this feel-good culinary comedy. Number 5, Margaret Thatcher in The Iron Lady.
No, no. We will stand on principle, or we will not stand at all.
Playing a woman as notorious as Margaret Thatcher, a scrupulously studied and powerful political figure who helped shape the world as it is today, for better or for worse, can easily be both an actor's dream and nightmare. Streep delivers one of her finest performances ever, juggling both Thatcher's accent and speech pattern while managing to shed a humanist light on one of the most famously complicated women in history.
Country to its knees. I say enough. It's time to get up.
This stunning enactment got Streep her second Oscar for a leading actress and established a new benchmark for biographical performances. Number 4, Sister Aloysius Bouvier in Doubt.
Step outside the church!
I will step outside the church! If that's what needs to be done, though the door should shut behind me, I will do what needs to be done! Though I'm damned to hell! You should understand that, or you will mistake me.
Adapted from a Pulitzer Prize-winning play, this film showcases 4 Oscar-nominated performances.
What?
Including Viola Davis's heart-wrenching, scene-stealing performance despite appearing in only 2 scenes.
You can't hold a child responsible for what God gave him to be.
Watching Streep play a Karen in a nun's habit will send chills down your spine. Evil Streep is a nightmare to watch for all the right reasons.
This is not about my tone.
But Evil Streep witch hunting in the name of God should definitely come with a warning.
To tell me what happened in the rectory.
Number 3, Donna in Mamma Mia.
Will you look at what the tide washed in? For one night! And one night only, Donna!
If this performance doesn't prove there is no genre Streep cannot excel at, nothing will. Her spectacular renditions of ABBA classics struck a chord with hundreds of millions of viewers, making it one of the highest-grossing movies of all time.
I never imagined I'd see all 3 of them in my old goat house the day before my daughter's wedding.
The soundtrack peaked at number 1 on the Billboard charts and has sold over 5 million copies worldwide. Streep encapsulates the pure, unadulterated joy of ABBA's music library in this wonderful escapist piece. If you still had doubts that Streep is superhuman, she recorded The Winner Takes It All in 1 take and was deemed a miracle by former ABBA band member Benny Andersson. Number 2, Madeleine Ashton Menville in Death Becomes Her.
How about a nice collagen buff instead, no? A collagen buff?
You might as well ask me to wash with soap and water. Tonight is very important to me.
I could do your makeup myself.
Makeup is pointless. It does nothing anymore. Are you listening to me? Do you even care? You just stand there with your 22-year-old skin and your tits like rocks and laughing.
A must-watch here at Plastik, Death Becomes Her is by far one of the most iconic and timeless films of all. Boasting delightfully campy performances by Streep, Goldie Hawn, Bruce Willis, and Isabella Rossellini under the masterful direction of Robert Zemeckis, this film does everything She-Devil meant to do, albeit perfectly.
What an eye. Don't wait up.
Streep soars as Madeleine Ashton Menville, a man-eating, archetypal mean girl whose insatiable vanity became her ultimate demise.
Mad hell! I don't believe it.
Streep seems to be having the time of her life, stealing every scene, although it was later revealed that the special effects cinematography was too grueling a process for Streep, resulting in her vowing off CGI-heavy films for most of her career. Number 1, Miranda Priestley in The Devil Wears Prada.
And it's sort of comical how you think that you've made a choice that exempts you from the fashion industry when in fact you're wearing a sweater that was selected for you by the people in this room from a pile of stuff.
What better way to measure something iconic than by seeing how many memes it generates? We see you, St. Hoax.
You have no style or sense of fashion.
It really depends, you know, like sometimes...
No. That wasn't a question.
That's right. Streep's most iconic performance ever is undisputedly as Miranda Priestley in The Devil Wears Prada. Also known as Streep being a better Anna Wintour than Anna Wintour.
Please, it's just, I don't know, drizzling.
Her cutthroat performance, marred with sharp-tongued retorts and oh-so-satisfying facial expressions, have taken pop culture by storm and cemented Streep's performance as one of the most entertaining of all time.
And you can do anything, right?
Although Priestley comes off as the shadiest of queens, Streep actually based her voice for the part on Clint Eastwood and struck gold. Many actresses were considered for the part, including Angelina Jolie, Cameron Diaz, Meg Ryan, and Julia Roberts.
I'm done with film.
But it's probably safe to say that this part was made for Streep, and Streep's performance is ultimately what made this film such an instant classic.
That's all.